Hi, in the last video we showed you a brief overview of the Blackboard Gradebook from the instructor perspective. In this video we're going to show you how to create columns and enter grades into those columns. There's two basic ways to get columns in your Blackboard Gradebook. One is to create a gradable content item like an assessment, a test or quiz, or an assignment. Blackboard will automatically create and link the gradebook column in your gradebook. So in this case we can go over, you see I've got a column here called HW1 for homework 1. If we click on the quick column information, we can see it's a home HW1, it's a score, the category, it's an assignment because I made an assignment. It's got 100 points possible. Close that menu. And if we go into week 1, my content area here is the item that I created, HW1. You can see that the column is named the same thing as the item. Makes things handy. We want to keep our naming conventions simple and easy to understand so we always know what item is linked to what column. Now say I've got a non-Blackboard item, something they're not going to be doing in Blackboard, that I need to enter grades for. I'm going to give them out a paper test or or some other type of homework. So let's create a column. Now Blackboard has several menu items up here. Create column, create calculated columns, and if you need to create these, please call Blackboard support, get a little help, because all of these columns have different functions and we want to make sure that you're setting them up correctly, and we're here to help. There's also other functions under the manage. You can also download your Blackboard gradebook. You can export it and work on it in Excel if you need to. But for now we're just going to do the basic column creation. So we're going to create a column. And we already have an HW1. We're going to call this one HW2. And Blackboard's simple. It only really needs two things. It's going to have the column name. It's going to have the column, and it wants to know how many points it's worth. We're going to say this one's worth 100 points as well. You can also assign it to a category if you're doing weighted grades, or if you just want to maintain it by category. Then we're going to go down here and hit submit. I see a success. I've got a column created. If I drag my scroll bar over, now I see an HW2. One of the differences you'll see between a linked item column and a manually created column, if you click your chevron for your pop-up menu, you'll see down here that there's no delete option. That's because this column is tied to a item. It has to be, if you delete the item, it'll delete the column. This one, because we manually created it, you can delete it. There's an option there to delete it. Do be careful. You delete a column, it is gone. It is not recoverable. Don't delete something unless you're absolutely sure. So how do we enter grades? Well, the linked column, as you grade and enter the items, Blackboard will fill those in, or you can manually enter them in if necessary. In this one, we're going to do the manual column, the HW2. Just click in the cell, like a Excel spreadsheet, enter a grade. There's 100 points possible. Make sure you don't enter more points than what is possible, or get your grades, double check your grading scale and enter the appropriate points, and then just hit your enter key. Blackboard will drop you right down to the next cell in the row, and that way it's very easy to go through alphabetically through your group and enter their grades. Just keep on going. You can enter a grade and then click outside the box, but you're going to have to click an OK and then click in the next box. It's just a little more work. If you make a mistake and need to enter a different grade, oops, this one was supposed to be a 94 instead of a 95. Presto, there it is. We're all good. So, and now there's something here I want to definitely hit on, is we've got grades in these. In any cell where there is no grade entered, you have these double dashes. These are null values, N-U-L-L, and that null means nothing. It does not mean zero. Zero has a value. It's zero. The null value means nothing. And in this case, when Blackboard sees the double dash, the null value, it does not take that column into consideration when calculating a grade. It skips it because it assumes that you are leaving that there null for a reason. You're giving the student a pass on this grade or whatever. So let's see how much that affects a student's grade, and how much of a difference that can make. So we're going to null out this grade. Blackboard's going to ask me, do you really want to do this? So we've got a null value here for this first student. If I walk over here to his total, I see right now he's got a 90%. He's got an A in my class. Just barely, but he's got an A. But hey, wait a minute. He hasn't turned in this item yet, where these other students have. So I'm going to go in here and give him a 0. It's past his due date. He's got a 0 now. Let's go back and see what that total looks like now. 55.38%. His A went to an F with that one grade. Big, huge difference. So if we do not keep our grades up to date, if you don't enter zeros where they have not entered assignments, your students will get an inflated view of their grade. I hear people blaming this on Blackboard. It's not Blackboard, it's us. We have to maintain and do this. Blackboard will only figure, it's just a spreadsheet. It can't tell, it doesn't know. You have to put this in. So remember, enter those zeros for assignments that students are late on or missing. They will see it pop up in their grade book, and I guarantee you when somebody's grade jumps from an A to an F, they will be getting in touch with you. You may not have heard from them all semester, but when that grade drops in a heartbeat, it's funny how they will be ready and get in touch with you. Well, that's it for this video. In our following videos, we'll dig a little deeper into Blackboard functionality and talk a little bit more about the other tools. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next videos.